In 2013, a 21-year-old woman checked into one of the most infamous hotels in Los Angeles. Days later, she vanished. Then came the elevator footage. Footage that's been watched, broken down, and obsessed over by millions of people online. What you're about to hear is not a horror story. It's a documented case. It's real, and the details are disturbing. This is the case of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was a college student from Vancouver. She loved books, Tumblr, and solo travel. She was introverted, but smart, curious. In January 2013, she took a solo trip down the west coast of the US. Her final stop, Los Angeles, and the hotel she picked was the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil already had a reputation. Multiple murders, suicides. A serial killer once lived on the 14th floor. Some called it cursed. Elisa didn't know that, or didn't believe it mattered. She checked in on January 26th. On January 31st, she missed her checkout. She stopped returning messages. Her family reported her missing. Police were called. The search began. Flyers went up. Staff were questioned, but no one had seen her. Then, the LAPD released surveillance footage, and everything changed. The footage was recorded just after midnight on February 1st. In it, Elisa walks into the hotel elevator. She presses multiple floor buttons. The door doesn't close. She peeks out, then hides against the wall. She steps out, looks both ways, and backs in again. Then she steps out once more. She appears to be talking to someone, but there's no one there. Her hands move in strange, almost mechanical gestures. The door finally closes. That was the last time Elisa was seen. 2 weeks later, guests at the Cecil began complaining. The water pressure was weak. The water had a strange taste. Maintenance went to the roof. They checked the hotel's water tanks, and that's where they found her. Elisa's naked body was floating inside the tank. Her clothes were in the water beside her. The tank was closed. The hatch lid was heavy. There were no signs of trauma, no evidence of foul play. Official cause of death, accidental drowning, complicated by bipolar disorder, but that didn't make sense to a lot of people. From the start, the official story didn't sit right with people. The roof was locked. The tanks were hard to access. Staff said it was nearly impossible to open without setting off an alarm. And yet, somehow, she ended up inside. There was no ladder, no explanation for how she got the lid closed behind her, and no footage of her going up to the roof. Some believe she was murdered, and the elevator footage shows her trying to escape someone. Others believe she was having a psychotic episode, brought on by a history of bipolar disorder, mixed with missed medications. And then, there are the theories that go deeper. Some say Elisa was being stalked. Others point to the hotel's dark past, a place that's seen suicides, serial killers, and unexplained deaths going back decades. And some believe something supernatural happened on that floor. Once the footage went viral, internet detectives took over. They dissected every frame, zoomed in, enhanced shadows, tried to figure out who she was talking to, or if she was talking to anyone at all. They found her Tumblr. They tracked her posts. They found her playlists. They turned her into a symbol, part victim, part mystery, part ghost story. But the truth is, Elisa Lam was a real person, and no amount of re-watching the footage has brought her back. Just more questions. Over a decade later, the case is closed. The official conclusion: accidental drowning. But if that's true, how did she get into a locked, sealed water tank? Why did the elevator door never close? Why does it feel like something is missing? To this day, no one has been able to explain how Elisa Lam died. Not the hotel, not the police, not the thousands of people who've studied every second of that footage. The answers don't add up, the timeline doesn't hold, and the questions haven't stopped. She vanished in plain sight, and somehow ended up in a place no one could reach. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you're not alone. This is No Signal. Thanks for watching.